Hi, welcome to How to Repair. Today I'm going to give you a tour using AI around Mizen Head, which is the most southerly point in Ireland. And I'm just going to flick the camera around for you, and I'll do a whole presentation on this, giving you a bit of history as well. Here we start our journey on the wild Atlantic Way, heading north. Now, you might be wondering why an appliance engineer is standing at the edge of the world looking out at the Atlantic Ocean. Well, because life is all about exploring how far you can go before something breaks. Hopefully not the van. Over the next few minutes, we're going to dive into the incredible history, the breathtaking views, and the absolute engineering marvels of Mizen Head. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one, because driving a castle on wheels through these remote roads is an adventure in itself. To get here, it wasn't just a quick Sunday drive. This journey started all the way down in sunny Faro, Portugal. From there, I navigated up through Spain to Bilbao, caught the ferry across the water to Rosslare, headed down through Cork, and finally wound my way down to this exact southern tip. Now, let's talk about Irish roads. My camper van is 8 meters long, 8 meters of solid engineering. I've driven through the Atlas Mountains in Morocco, and let me tell you, those lanes were in much worse condition. Mostly dirt, rock and prayers, but there was hardly any traffic out there. Ireland, beautiful, yes, but these narrow coastal lanes combined with peak tourism traffic, that is a whole different level of stress. You're constantly playing a game of chicken with oncoming rental cars, hoping your wing mirrors survive the encounter. And out here, in a remote area like this, self-reliance is everything. If a major appliance or a critical system goes wrong on your rig out here, good luck finding a spare part or an engineer down the road. You truly realize the value of knowing how things work and being able to fix them yourself when you're miles from the nearest town. But despite the tight squeezes on the road, the moment you step out of the cab, every bit of stress just evaporates. Look at this scenery. And I have to mention the weather. It was absolutely lovely while I was here. The sea was incredibly calm, the sun was bright, and it hit about 26 degrees. Now, anyone who knows the Irish coast will tell you this is definitely not the usual weather for Mizen Head. Normally, you'd be bracing against horizontal rain and gale force winds out here on the edge of the Atlantic. So I got incredibly lucky to see it like this. It's not just the sunshine that is warm, though. The locals here are absolutely brilliant. Every time you stop to figure out if your van can actually fit past a stone wall, someone is there with a smile, a bit of local advice, or just a friendly chat. There's a real sense of community and welcome that makes travelling through Ireland incredibly special. But to truly appreciate Mizen Head, you can't just stand in the car park. You have to cross over to Cloghan Island, and to do that, you have to walk across one of the most brilliant pieces of coastal engineering I've ever seen. If you look at the bridge that connects the mainland to the signal station today, it's a modern construction, but the original bridge was built way back in 1909. Imagine trying to build a bridge across a 150-foot deep gorge with the Atlantic Ocean smashing into the rocks directly below you over a century ago. The original was made of reinforced concrete, a relatively new technology at the time, and the engineers had to assemble it piece by piece while battling gale force winds and salt spray. Walking across it today, suspended high above the churning water, you really get a sense of the sheer bravery and mechanical ingenuity of the men who built this place. It's a testament to human stubbornness, the absolute refusal to let geography stop us from building what we need to survive. Looking out at this ocean brings back a lot of memories. I started out just learning to sail in a little dinghy, but things escalated quite a bit from there. I actually spent 7 years living on this yacht, the Camargue. I ended up buying her over in Africa because, well, I was slightly drunk. The financial market had collapsed there at the time, which made her an incredibly cheap purchase, probably one of the best slightly drunk decisions I've ever made. We sailed her all the way from Africa, across to South America, up through the Caribbean to Bermuda, over to the Azores, and finally back to South Wales. As you can see from this shot in some absolutely wild weather, you quickly learn to respect the sheer power of the sea. I came incredibly close to the Irish Sea during those voyages, but never actually sailed around it. When you spend that much time on the water, lighthouses like this are the ultimate symbol of safety. They are an absolute lifeline. Heading inside the exhibition hall here, you can see how much effort the local community has poured into preserving this vital maritime history. They've done a brilliant job putting this together. There are multiple rooms dedicated to breaking down the history, including video rooms, playing documentaries on how this specific lighthouse protected ships from the jagged rocks below. As an engineer, I was fascinated by the rooms showing the sheer construction efforts required to build this place. And let's talk about why they built it in the first place. This specific stretch of the Atlantic is notoriously unforgiving. Back in the 1800s and early 1900s, before modern GPS or radar, sailors were navigating blind in the fog. After several tragic shipwrecks, including the SS Toronto, the Board of Trade and the Irish Lights finally decided enough was enough. In 1906, they established the Mizen Head fog signal station. Now, when we think of lighthouses, we think of a giant flashing light, but originally, Mizen Head's primary weapon against the sea was sound. And as an engineer, the mechanics of this absolutely fascinate me. They didn't just use a loud horn. In the early days, they used explosives. The lighthouse keepers had to manually detonate charges of a material called tonite, an explosive similar to dynamite. Imagine that being your job. Every few minutes, in the freezing cold, in the pitch black, in the middle of a blinding fog bank, you are physically detonating high explosives just to send a boom out across the water to warn ships to steer clear of the rocks. Eventually, technology evolved, and they replaced the explosives with massive compressed air sirens driven by heavy-duty mechanical engines. To a man who spends his life fixing machines, seeing the evolution from brute force explosives to complex pneumatic engineering is just incredible. It shows how the technology of survival has adapted over the decades. You'll find incredibly detailed charts, extensive maritime safety equipment, and vintage radio gear. There is also a fantastic section on the weather information they use to transmit regularly. Long before we had satellite weather apps, those regular reports sent out from this very station were what kept sailors alive out in the deep water. Speaking of keeping sailors alive, Mizen Head wasn't just about light and sound. It was at the absolute bleeding edge of modern communications. Just up the road from here in Crookhaven, the famous inventor Guglielmo Marconi was busy pioneering wireless telegraphy. Because of its location jutting out into the Atlantic, this entire peninsula became a massive hub for early radio communications. In 1931, Mizen Head actually became the site of the first radio beacon in Ireland. It's amazing to think that the wireless technology we take completely for granted today, the stuff that lets me upload this very video to YouTube from a camper van, has its roots in stations exactly like this one. And if you look out at the horizon on a clear day, you can just make out Fastnet Rock in the distance. They call Fastnet the teardrop of Ireland, because for millions of Irish emigrants sailing to America in the 19th and 20th centuries, that lighthouse was the very last piece of their home country they would ever see. When you stand here at the southernmost tip of the mainland, looking out at Fastnet and the endless Atlantic, you realise that Mizen Head wasn't just a building on a rock, it was a frontier outpost. We've seen the history, we've survived the narrow lanes, and we've officially stood at the starting point. From this very spot, the only way is north along the wild Atlantic Way. Thousands of kilometres of coastline, stunning vistas, and undoubtedly more tight driving challenges lie ahead. If you enjoyed this look at Mizen Head and want to see how the van and its appliances hold up as we head further into the remote parts of Ireland, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and leave a comment below. Have you ever tried driving a massive rig down these coastal lanes or relied on a lighthouse out at sea? Let me know your stories in the comments. Thanks for watching How to Repair, and I'll see you in the next video as we head north. Now, I'll leave you with this amazing scenery and a bit of traditional Irish folk music. Enjoy the view.